country has collapsed. How can a president admit to have put dollars and dollars of rands under the mattress, and that person still spending 24 hours in the office after admitting to have had dollars under the mattress?
Phala Phala case, we told you Phala Phala will never die. Phala Phala will never end. Phala Phala.
Tomorrow
we are going to get to the bottom of this. This is just the beginning. Na Phala Phala will never end.
We are highlighting
that thing he did to Zuma, of taking Zuma to prison. He has set the precedent. I think he's the next president, in office or out of office, will go to prison. We'll never allow that. The DP asked a critical question, which you are all not asking. Let's say he declared the dollars, right? Let's say his business is above board. There is nothing wrong. He did everything right. Leave him alone. That's fine. But how do you answer the question that says the trading currency in South Africa is rands? How do you escape that one? It's by law, by the way. No one is allowed to trade using foreign currency. The president has agreed, the president has accepted that he has accepted dollars from a person who came to buy buffaloes using foreign currency. How do you pass that one? See? I say fate.
As for Phala Phala, it is not going to be swept under the couch. The NPA might believe that there isn't a prima facie case. We believe there is a prima facie case. For example, if you or I were found with $580,000 in our couch, we would have to answer in a court of law, because that is a criminal offense in itself. Where the money came from, that's another matter. Where the money went to, that's another matter. How did they try and follow that money and get it back, that's another matter. There are a whole lot of matters. But the fact of the matter is that there's a contravention of the Foreign Exchange Act in this country, and the president must account for it. Simple as that.
You keeps 10 million in a sofa. If we discuss, if we talk about legalities, bigger if we talk about legalities, chief, as for no was by the Malakobek 10 we keep a bank. There is safe Konaganga. We copy, we say, we cleaner, a Sophian. You are not part of us. I got 2002 ENC, but he lay Iakon. And I entirely got on the wrong.
Phala Phala is not a debt issue. She cannot communicate with us through the media. Phala Phala has been submitted to her through a formal letter, and she will have to follow the parliament processes to respond to us. There's no way someone should say this matter was dealt with by the 6th Parliament, therefore 7th Parliament can't deal with it. It is so opportunistic for DA to say it will not vote for Phala Phala impeachment. But equally, they are using Phala Phala to hold Ramaphosa with scrotum. Because every time he tries to move, they are going to say Phala Phala. Every time he tries to move, Phala Phala.
He says in that clip, I'm a farmer, I sell. When you sell to get money. You don't sell to not get money. So is that not a job? Is a farmer not a job?
No, it is not.
What is it?
It is two-phrased. You can either have financial interest or you can perform it in terms of a job.
He says I sell.
What it does is expands the tissue of lies that surrounds the Phala Phala matter and the president's explanation. In December last year, he tried to pass this off as a legitimate business transaction, and we heard this businessman coming forward saying he declared the money. As a result of that, we submitted a Promotion of Access to Information Act query to SARS to obtain the documentation that facilitated the arrival of these dollars in the country as required by the law. A surprise, surprise, the document doesn't exist. So clearly this undermines completely the president's attempts to try and pass this off as some form of legitimate business transaction when it has been anything but. And frankly, it stinks to high heavens. Dirty dollars in the country, brought in unlawfully, illegally, under the cover of darkness, to pay for cattle that have never been collected. And frankly, the murkiness around this issue provides us with even more initiative and impetus now to have an ad hoc inquiry in Parliament so we can finally get the truth about what really happened with Phala Phala.
There is complete silence by the media.
Silence.
About the Phala Phala allegations. It's true. This was not the case when allegations were made about the security upgrades at my home in Kandla.
Painting here, where does it place them?
Look, the other investigations must continue. Mr. Ramaphosa must still explain to the Reserve Bank as to what is the original source of the dollars that were found in his farm. He must still be criminally held accountable for trading in foreign currency against the laws of this country. The revenue collector, SARS, must still hold him accountable. The SAPS must still investigate the so many crimes that happened in Phala Phala. The FIC must still give a report as to illegal money movements and money laundering that occurred in Phala Phala. The public protector, incompetent as the incumbent is, must still produce a report as to the abuse of power of calling Hage Geingob of Namibia to then say he must arrest people who had taken the money from Phala Phala. So all of those things must still continue. We are not postponing anything. We remove him as the President of the Republic. He must fall on his sword today if possible. And then the investigations must still continue because he must be held accountable. No one is above the law in South Africa. He must be held accountable fully and fully to the highest extent by all the institutions that are involved.
On what basis, though, are you calling the current acting public protector incompetent?
Because she fails to produce a report which should have been produced long time ago. Here is a panel which receives more or less the same information and inputs in terms of what transpired in Phala Phala. It took them 45 days to produce a very comprehensive report, which even if there's an attempt to review it in court, will never win. In terms, no one will win in terms of that. Very competent process that was handled properly. But because of vested interest, the incumbent acting public protector is delaying and protracting the process because she wants to let him go and be just let go without being held accountable through the necessary institutions. So she's incompetent because she's unable to produce a report within the requisite time. By the way, the Public Protector Act and the Executive Ethics Act obliges her to produce a report within 30 days. She did not do so, and that represents incompetence. So
I've got two more questions, very briefly, because we almost out of time. I suppose then, looking at what is happening.
You have a president that is accused and is actually confirmed that indeed, number one, there was a burglary which was not reported, and there was foreign currency which came from the sale of, in his words, livestock in his farm. If the Reserve Bank in 2022 is saying we did not know, because the letter of the Reserve Bank is saying we asked the president to indicate what is the source of that foreign currency and any underlying transactions that might have led to that foreign currency being in our country. The foreign exchange regulations, they state that foreign currency must be declared within 30 days. Now, if in 2022 Reserve Bank does not know about a foreign currency which was stolen in 2020, it clearly shows that the laws have been broken, and there's no way in which SARS can be able to know the source of the foreign currency and the transactions, and the Reserve Bank does not know about it. So the fact that the Reserve Bank is unaware, it means also SARS is unaware. If SARS is also unaware, it means the president has evaded paying taxes. Therefore, he's violated Section 96 2B of the Constitution, which is, in our view, an impeachable offense.
Yeah.
Senze
imithandazo yethu Nkosi sibongela thina lusapho lwayo morena uluke sitshaba sa Yesu ufedise dintale matswele
Ramaphosa continues to have his back against the wall over the Phala Phala matter. Some MPs continue to grill him over the issue. His assurances that his government was working hard to get the country out of the grey listing by next year by tightening anti-money laundering laws are not cutting it for the official opposition.
But Mr. President, you are part of the problem because you accepted dirty dollars that got into this country illegally. So how do you, with any credibility, stand up here on nationally and internationally and explain to us how we are going to get out of this grey listing when you are part of the problem?
Ramaphosa appealed to MPs to wait for the outcome of various investigations into the matter.
I have publicly said I'm willing, prepared to cooperate and have done so, and some of those institutions have even said so. So let us wait for that whole process to be done with and to be concluded before we reach the conclusion.
Ramaphosa, when he delivered the State of the Nation address in February, that's why he said, in 100 days there must be agreed a comprehensive social compact to address his matters. Nothing has happened. Nothing. Yeah.
Kathy, number one, the rogue elements did not put dollars in Cyril Ramaphosa's house at the farm. That's number one. The rogue elements did not put dollars there. There are dollars. That's a fact. Let's start there. I just want to make that clear. And the president has admitted the amount is disputable. But whether it's 580 or 4 million, there are dollars there that were not declared, that we don't know how they came into South Africa. So that narrative of rogue elements falls off. Because, you see, the problem in the ANC is, if somebody is accused of something, it depends which faction you are on. So if you are favored by white capital and white power, no, you must be clean. And we are all to blame. We allowed it. It started with the bank statements of Cyril Ramaphosa. The courts, if it were me, Kenugunene, holding the bank statements of the president, I would have been charged of defeating the ends of justice. So the president ran to the courts to protect him from an investigation that could have led to a charge of bribery, whatever the charge may be. So the public has been deprived by the courts of knowing who funded the president's campaign. So the courts, in a way, use the law to defeat the ends of justice. We allowed that. Now we come to this one. Can I just finish, please? Please, Katie.
So the thing is, it's important also for us to stay within, compare apples with apples. What the court was looking at, and I really don't want us to get into it because I want us to stay with Phala Phala. What the court was looking at, in as far as the president's bank statements and transparency, very much has to do with what he is expected to disclose. And the legislation at the time did not force that he disclose who his funders are.
But you are a public figure, you are running for office. Now, the president is saying he's taking this report on review. a former Chief Justice was appointed to lead this panel, and he has made findings and recommendations. The president again is going to the courts to protect him. So that is the problem. And the ANC, instead of dealing with the issues at hand, Ntatem Motsecha says that I'm dealing with the merits of the case. No, I am dealing with the statements that the president made publicly. The president didn't say there was no money at my house. The president said there was money. The president said in Limpopo at ANC conference, provincial conference, very proudly and even smiling, that this money came because I was selling animals. So the president has admitted to doing business whilst he's the president of the country. Let us deal with facts. Let us forget about the internal politics of the ANC. We don't care about the internal politics of the ANC. We are not part of the internal politics of the ANC. Cyril Ramaphosa is the president of the country. And as the president of the country, he needs to lead by example. He was sold to the public as a man of integrity, as a man who will never steal, as a man who is above moral raider, if for a lack of better way. But now this is the same man who is found with foreign currency in his own house. So we can't entertain this narrative that there are people in the ANC who are trying to get rid of him. No. He has the dollars in his house. He must respond to that. And if he's a man of integrity, as he has said, he should have done the right thing and just resign.
Let's look at what the president's lawyers have said then throughout the course of the day. They've said that they believe...
Saying you're defending Ramaphosa unnecessarily, essentially.
You can say that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say that. But we defend our president.
We're going to have to leave it there.
And then, he's the president of the African National Congress. The issues that he has raised, we have agreed, will continue to engage with.
You come back in 3
I'm going to now speak and move and see if I can speak to other residents here of Phala Phala. Hi, sir, how are you doing?
Fine, and how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Today at Phala Phala Farm, which has come under the spotlight after it was alleged that close to 4 million US dollars, about 61 million rather, South African rand were stolen from the farm in 2020. What do you think about that as somebody who lives within close proximity of the farm?
Nna ke no bona ka tšhelete ba bolelang ka yona mo ba no bolela ke ntho ba no hore ha ke tshepe pila ka Ramaphosa ke motho ba no mo Phala mo phela shapo phela le rena pila le rena e se fire bereka ka dilo tse ra ya go yena re tsia batho go yona re ira ntongwe le ngwe le yena. So na I think or maybe ke di accusation fela mo so I don't think gore Ramaphosa dilo tse di ntse tse ba maccusang ka tsona go ba no re le naganang gore today ba rekisa kgomo e bitswang ankole le tse dingwe ko plaseng ba tswela pele ba rekisa and di bitsa tšhelete e ntšhi le naganang ka seo? Ka tse ona mo ke mo ba nong gore re ba le mathata ka tsona ke tse ba nong gore tse tsa diphoofolo tseo ke tsona tse ba nong le rena di tshware pila ka lebaka la gore dira tšhelete e ntšhi. But at the end of the day le nna ka mokgwa ba nong re nka bea gore Ramaphosa o shapo mara mo ha shapo pila la bona ka lebaka la gore thomo re bolela ka taba tsa gore o bile a ba le mo ba no re trench batho le ena go Phala Phala. So a ke itse re trench tse batho neng go Phala Phala ka lockdown. So I think or maybe management wa hae ko na o irile mbiao not maybe yena o irile ba mara management o ile mo ba no re batho ba go Phala Phala ba di trenchiwa ba ba. Ke a leboga abuti wa ka.
Cyril, even if he listens to us, what will he do? There's nothing he can do. He doesn't take any action. He brought the intelligence into his office because of the slush fund. There is too much money in the intelligence. Now your president was caught with dollars. You don't ask the question, where did he get the dollars? Slush funds includes all foreign currencies. All currency you can think of. There are pounds there. You remember the story when they said they broke into the SSA offices, they took the foreign currency money. So, boom, your president is found with dollars. Where did the guy get the dollars? But this guy sits in his office with slush fund. No one can audit those people. When you enter, first thing, that thing I said they will do with vetting. Here is kids from Auditor General's office. Auditors. Well, because it's not the Auditor General who audits. She's got her own staff. But no, these kids are not vetted, these ones. Now, how do they go and check the finances of the intelligence when they are not vetted? Okay, vet them. It's them who must vet you. Like they did with Mbuyiseni, they vetted him and asked him all kinds of questions because he sits in the intelligence committee. Till today, they didn't give you a certificate. Did they give you that thing? But he was subjected to lie detect. And then he was asked of some deposit, some high school sweetheart deposited into his account. Who's this one? And then he forgot. He said, what's the name? Wait, but who's this one? All manner of harassment. And then they withhold that thing, vetting certificate. They don't issue it. They say, no, we're coming. That's it. In the military, intelligence is worse. Money gets used the way the Speaker of Parliament was using it when she was there. You can't do anything. Those generals in the army, they don't play with anyone, including politicians. They look at you and tell you that thing's not going to happen, what you are trying to do. You were here and you were told the army went to buy vaccine in Cuba. They didn't follow the process. The Cuban vaccine is not didn't pass South Africa's test. It must go back. They went there. They told them, where is it going? It's not going anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones. Why Not TV. Please subscribe. Bye for now till we meet again next time. Subscribe, please. Don't forget to like and to comment. Thank you very much. Dr. Jones, Why Not TV. Mutsonga wa Shiviri from Limpopo. Goodbye till we meet again next time. Subscribe.